Hey, what is up, y'all? My name's Travis, aka The Raw View, and this is the very first episode of Setup Evolution, the show where we look at your setups, look at the previous setups you guys have, and we talk about how your setups have grown over time. So let's get started with Mateo. The very first picture he sent me was of his setup rocking a Acer laptop. Looks like a Core Duo, nothing really special about it, and has this weird stuffed animal that oddly has a nose that looks like a soccer ball off to the right. Don't know what that's from. Moving into the next picture, it's basically the same setup, and I can already tell you one thing that I already really don't like about the setup is with the speaker placement. Those speakers are up on the top. Looks like it's part of a surround sound. I could be wrong. Let me check really quick. Yeah, so those are three speakers up there. So he has the center speaker, the left and the right, and I'm assuming the other ones are somewhere else in the room. Dude, the speaker placement, that kills me. It kills me when people do this. You get a nice set of speakers or have like a little speakers and you put them either behind the monitor or like way up high or way below where they should be, okay? You're going to get so much out of your speakers if you put the tweeters on the speakers ear level. If your speakers are small like his is and you don't know where the tweeters are, just try to get them ear level with you. It will make a world of difference. Like, it will sound night and day. Let's see if you eventually move them down or not. Pretty average office chair. You have a lot of stuff looks like going up top. So you go from that. Your cable management actually from the get-go is actually pretty spot on. All right, so now it looks like you upgraded from, no, you still have the laptop. I see the laptop folded down on the table. Looks like you have a cooler underneath. Yeah, so he has a little cooler underneath his laptop. He's upgraded to a keyboard and mouse. Looks like the Logitech wireless mouse and keyboard. Still has that weird stuffed animal on the table and a Samsung monitor. Good. I mean, it's starting to look like a setup and not actually just like a, you stuck a laptop on a shelf. Oh man, those speakers, man, you still haven't moved them. I'm hoping you moved them, man. Wow. All right, looks like he finally went and upgraded his PC. Look at that, y'all. That is the Fractal Design R5 case. Going into his computer specs, he's rocking an i5 4690K, clocked at 4 gigahertz, a MSI 970S SLI Cart Edition motherboard, 8 gigs of Kingston Hyper Fury X white memory, a Kingston Hyper Fury SSD at 120 gigabytes, and a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 970 WindForce Edition. Overall, the build's actually really clean. I give you props on the computer build. The cable management inside of the computer is actually pretty spot on, along with your desk already. Looks like there's a picture of some of your cable management under the desk, along with the subwoofer that's also hooked up to his surround sound. Dude, because I was so mesmerized by the computer, I didn't even realize that you upgraded your mouse pad. Something that people don't understand about mouse pads is that you don't need them, but they definitely help. Let me explain. I used this mouse on this desk for about maybe 2 weeks, right? Without a mouse pad, right? Mouse works fine, I could do everything, right? The problem was it would get hair in it, right? So since your mouse pad's like raised, a half centimeter or so, right off the desk, a lot of hair that would normally end up in this area right here, it's not getting there because it's running into the mouse pad. Like, if you ever peel out your mouse pad, you'll realize that there's hair kind of around the edge, especially if you have animals. If you have animals, get yourself a mouse pad. It will save you a lot of hassle in the future. Because I kept on having to like blow inside of the sensor to get the hairs out. It was very annoying. A mouse pad will actually save a lot of that frustration. And arguably, mouse pads are a lot more accurate when it comes to using the mouse, especially if you have a desk like mine. So Mateo, my last thoughts on your setup is that you have a pretty awesome setup already. The biggest thing I have a problem with though is where your speakers are, man. You have to get them down ear level. It will change everything, especially since in your email you say that you're a trumpet player and you're into music and that's what you want your setup to kind of be about, and you're into like productivity. He's not a gamer, y'all. He's really more into productivity. Dude, you have to get those speakers down to your ear level. It will change the way your whole setup sounds. I promise you, even if you have to get rid of the surround sound to do it, just do it. He says in the future he wants to upgrade to some studio monitors, and same thing. If you get studio monitors, you have to get the tweeters ear level with your ear. Also, if you're going to get studio monitors, you have to also think about upgrading to a audio interface with them. I would highly suggest looking into the Complete Audio 6, which is what I have, or the Focusrite. Mateo, the last thing I'll say about your setup is that you need to repaint your walls, man. Repainting your walls will make your setup look so much cleaner than it is right now. Man, the very first thing I realized when I looked at the picture was, man, those walls are dirty. Something pretty cheap that you can do. I know it might be a pain to redo it, but it needs to be done, man, because it will literally take your setup from looking just okay to looking really clean. So thank you, Matteo from Italy, for sending in your setup. I look forward to seeing what you do with it in the future. Next we have Ming. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. My setup did not look anything like this when I was 14. First off, when I was 14, my setup looked like a CRT monitor, and it was the family computer, and it was located in the kitchen. And it looked nothing like this. Oh man. Well, starting right off with his setup, he has an Alienware computer. He has artwork everywhere. It looks like anime. He has a Nintendo DS on the counter. He has a Razer mouse. He has it looks like an Alienware keyboard, an Xbox 360 controller, and I'm assuming that's hooked up to your computer since I don't see an Xbox anywhere. Man, it's actually kind of cool. I mean, he definitely has a lot of personality in this very first picture, man. Wow. And everything's pretty clean too. Like, I mean, you have some cables showing, but they're not like crazy, you know? Looks like he has a weird little speaker right in front of his keyboard. Probably doesn't give the best sound, but you know, that works. I mean, it's not it's like horrible. He also has a pretty normal chair. So let's go ahead and look at how he evolves it. Wow. Just y'all take a look at like this first picture and the second picture. And I know some of you guys out there are going to be like, I liked his setup in the very first picture. Well, yeah, jeez. It's hard for me to believe that this setup has changed so much just in the first two pictures, because I mean, look, y'all, you can tell that it's even the same desk, I think. Yeah, look at that. That's even the same desk. It's just changed a lot. And this is actually a really cool picture because it doesn't look like, okay, it's a new monitor, new headphones, same computer though, same keyboard, same mouse. That's a big change. I don't even know what to think about that, because you go from something that's super cluttery but has a lot of personality to something very clean. It still looks great, but it's like, it's weird because it's like, I know you had all that personality in your setup, and then all of a sudden where I feel like I'm not seeing any personality. I mean, I'm seeing a little on the monitor and the DS, but I mean, geez, I mean, it's just such a big change. And see, y'all, I have this thing where, okay, there's a fine line between personality and having a clean looking setup, right? You can't really have one without the other, if that makes sense. Like, you can't, if you put in a bunch of personality, your setup's not going to be as clean. If you put in, the more personality you put into your setup, the less clean it looks, period. Like, right now is like, with my setup, I like my setup being clean. It's kind of a personal preference. I don't think there's anything wrong with having personality, but all the personality I want in my setup as of right now is, I want my logo on my screen, and I want my Batman computer. You can tell I'm into Batman, you can tell I'm into the raw view. That's all I want people to know about me looking at my setup. That's what I want them to know, and I'm okay with that. But it's just crazy, just the change. And that IKEA photo, man, I don't know. I don't really like IKEA photos, y'all. I mean, part of the reason why I don't like the IKEA photo for you, Ming, is because I don't feel like that's not who you are. I feel like that's not your personality, you know? Nothing about that photo has anything to do with who you are, you know? That's, I mean, maybe unless you're into like double-decker buses, maybe if your dad like owned the double-decker buses, something like that, then that picture would make sense to me. But the fact that that's just like a normal picture that I've seen all over the internet. It has no meaning, and I think you should get rid of it and put something up there that has meaning to you. You know, I like how you have the custom DS there. That looks awesome. You know, I think that you should put something on your setup or in a picture that actually means something to you. So hold on, let's go ahead and before I bash you anymore on that second photo. Okay, this is the final setup. Okay, you got rid of it. Okay, so I take that back. You got rid of it. You upgraded your speakers, still have that custom DS, still have a little bit of personality. Man, your cable management though, man, needs some work. Like your cable management on the monitor is perfect. Above the desk is perfect, right? Even below the desk, it looks good. But then, what is that? All that on the right, man. Okay, I see that's your headphones and you want it loose. But what is that speaker wire? Is that speaker wire? I don't know what that is. You need to get rid of that. I mean, even then, like with your headphones like that, man, I would find a better way of routing that, or I don't know, like at least clean it up. I mean, it just looks sloppy the way it's hanging down. Maybe at least for the photo, man. Just next time, try to get the speaker or the cable not like hanging off like that when you take the photo. What's funny is I actually own this table too, this IKEA table. I actually have it right over here. Man, so it looks like you upgraded your speakers. That's awesome. It looks like you even built your own, look at that, y'all. He built his own like little monitor stand. Because I have this exact table right over here and does not come with a monitor stand. So he actually built that, y'all. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, look at that. He also upgraded his keyboard to a mechanical keyboard. He didn't have that in the first two photos, y'all. He had a Alienware. Looks like every single time he's upgraded his speakers. So hopefully you found those speakers that you actually want to keep for a while. So Ming's plans for the future include buying a DX Racer chair, buying a PS4, and doing a custom computer build in the NZXT H440 case white edition. So that would be actually really slick. He also says that he plans on making the curtains black, which is something you need to do relatively soon because that color just clashes really bad with your setup. I will leave a link down in the description below, Ming, of where you can buy what I use for my cable management when I know wires are going to be visible. I think you can put one in between where your monitor is and actually where it goes like into the desk. I don't know what that cable is on that leg still. It's driving me nuts. Please clean that up, and I think your setup will look awesome. The last thing I'm going to tell you to do is get a picture up on that left wall. Going back to your very first picture, okay? You have this one picture on the wall that's framed, that's signed, right? Okay, I don't know if you're still into that. If not, pick something else. I think it would help bring your whole setup really together. So thank you, Ming, for submitting your evolution of your desk. This is usually the point in the show where I'm going to try to feature a guest every single week. However, I don't have a guest this very first week. I was trying to line someone up, but it was kind of last minute and just didn't work out. Then I was going to feature myself, but I couldn't find my photos anywhere. So hopefully I'll find my photos. I'll try to feature myself next week, and then I will try to feature a special guest every single week. A lot of people are just having a hard time finding old photos of their setup. And same thing with me. I was like, man, I found my old desk, right? But I used to have like really crappy monitors. I didn't have these monitors before, just a few years ago. So I wanted to find those pictures for y'all. So that's what I'm looking for. So if you want to submit your setup to Setup Evolution, I will leave a link down in the description below to the video that explains how. And I hope to see you guys next week. Peace.